Welcome back to Community Corner Podcast, Personal Finance Edition. I'm Rashmi, joined by my co-host Olivia.
In today's episode, we'll explore two essential financial instruments that form the bedrock of many people's saving strategies: saving accounts and certificates of deposits. Whether you're just starting your journey towards financial security or seeking ways to grow your savings more effectively, understanding these foundational tools is critical.
There are many reasons why people opt for this way of investing. For starters, people often view savings account as a safe and secure way to store their money. Knowing that their funds are held by a reputable financial institution and potentially backed by the government insurance gives a sense of security against loss.
Savings accounts and certificates of deposits are commonly seen as highly liquid, allowing account holders to withdraw or transfer funds easily when needed. Many people appreciate the convenience of accessing their money through various channels like ATMs, online banking, mobile apps, or in-person visits to bank branches.
Although the interest rates offered by savings accounts might be modest compared to other investment options, people understand that these accounts provide a way to earn some interest on their savings without exposing their funds to significant risks.
To add on to that, compared to other investment options like stocks or bonds, saving accounts are lower risk. People appreciate the stability and low volatility associated with savings accounts.
Many individuals use savings accounts as a place to store emergency funds or for short-term saving goals. Having funds easily accessible in case of unexpected expenses or emergency is a common reason for maintaining a savings account.
Savings accounts are also great for beginners. It serves as a foundational financial tool, often recommended by financial advisors as the first step towards building a financial cushion or starting to save for future goals.
When you think of savings accounts, a traditional savings account is what comes to mind. Traditional savings accounts are fundamental deposit accounts offered by banks and credit unions. They're easily accessible and typically come with low or no minimum balance requirements.
Minimum balance requirements is what the word implies. It's how much money you need in order to open a savings account.
These accounts are designed for short to medium-term savings and provide a safe place to keep money while earning interest. The interest rates are really low compared to other savings accounts and investment options, with the average being around 0.39% according to CNBC.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I have a savings account with a 0.1% interest rate, so I got 20 cents for last month, but it's very safe. And certain savings accounts may charge monthly maintenance fees, but many financial institutions offer fee-free accounts, especially for basic savings products, which is really helpful.
Moving on to another type of savings account, money market account. This is a federally insured savings account that allows you to add or remove funds up to 6 times a month through a debit card or writing a check.
The average interest rate offered by these are higher than the traditional savings account, with the average of 0.57%.
Something different about this is that once you open a money market account, you have an automatic insurance of up to $250,000 per owner through the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, which means your investment is protected if the bank closes or fails.
The FDIC is a government agency in the United States that protects the money you deposit in banks. It was created to give people confidence in the banking system.
Unlike traditional savings accounts, the minimum balance for money market funds are quite high, with the average being around $4,000.
The next type is a high-yield savings account, which is also offered by banks and credit unions. This account is pretty similar to the traditional savings account. However, the biggest difference is that it earns interest at a considerably higher rate, as much as 10 times or more, ranging from 4 to 7%. The interest is also compounded, which is earning interest on your interest, building up your savings more quickly than if it were not.
While some high-yield savings accounts may have no or low minimum balance requirements, others might necessitate a higher minimum balance to access the elevated interest rates. Again, this requirement can vary among financial institutions, just like all the other content that we're talking about today.
Yeah, so let's look at a quick comparison on how much interest you can earn between a traditional savings account versus a high-yield savings account.
If you put $10,000 into a traditional savings account, after 1 year, you would have earned $33 in interest. But if you put $10,000 into a high-yield savings account with 4.88% APY, you would have earned $488 in interest over the year. That's a $455 difference.
Having this type of account makes a lot of things easier to do. For example, an emergency fund is a fundamental aspect of personal finance, often recommended as a cash reserve equivalent to 3 to 6 months of your income. Placing these funds in a high-yield savings account allows them to accrue more interest while remaining easily accessible.
A high-yield savings account aids in accumulating additional funds for substantial long-term goals, such as saving for a home or a car purchase. This strategy is especially beneficial for goals within the next 5 years.
So now let's talk about certificates of deposit. They serve the same purpose and are equally as safe as a savings account. However, they do work a little differently.
A certificate of deposit, otherwise known as CD, is a financial instrument offered by banks or credit unions that allows individuals to deposit a fixed amount of money for a specified period at a predetermined interest rate.
This is in exchange for depositing funds and agreeing to keep them untouched for a set duration, typically ranging from a few months to several years. The financial institution pays interest on the initial amount, however, you have no access to that money until the term is up.
Yeah, and that's where the difference comes in, where savings accounts, you can access that money at whenever you want. Now, there are 3 different term ranges you can choose from based on what you will use the money for. So, short-term CDs typically range from a few months to years. These are best suited if you want to buy something in the near future, like a vacation, wedding dress, or a down payment on a car.
And midterm CDs are typically between 1 and 3 years. And long-term CDs typically have terms of 4 to 10 years. You could use this if you want to save up to buy a house and put some money away now.
After the term ends, you can do a few different things. You can deposit the money into another CD with different terms or rates, transfer the money into another account like savings and checking, or you can just renew the CD for the same term and interest rate.
Just like money market accounts, CDs are also FDIC insured for up to $250,000.
What we talked about so far are what you can do for any type of CD, which leads us to our next point, the types of CDs.
Traditional fixed-rate CDs are the most common type. Investors deposit a lump sum for a fixed period, typically ranging from a few months to several years, at a predetermined interest rate. The interest rate remains constant throughout the CD's term.
Bump-up CDs allow investors to request an increase in the interest rate on their CD to a higher rate offered by the bank during the CD's term. This option gives investors the flexibility to take advantage of rising interest rates in the market. However, there has to be a valid reason for it, like the state of the marketplace.
Step-up CDs have an interest rate that increases at a predetermined interval during the CD's term. This type of CD provides investors with a gradually rising interest rate, offering higher returns over time.
Jumbo CDs are high-value certificates of deposit, typically requiring a larger minimum deposit, sometimes as much as $100,000, than regular CDs. They usually offer higher interest rates due to the larger deposit amount.
Liquid or no-penalty CDs allow investors to withdraw funds before the CD's maturity without incurring the typical early withdrawal penalties. However, they often come with a lot lower interest rates compared to traditional CDs, which at that point you might want to opt for a savings account.
Hopefully you guys consider these options, especially if you're just starting your investing career. These are super safe and super reliable. That's all for today. This is Rashmi and Olivia, cashing out.